In the years since the untimely passing of Soundgarden and Audioslave frontman Chris Cornell, his widow Vicky and his Soundgarden bandmates have become embroiled in a bitter legal dispute over unpaid royalties and unreleased vocal recordings of Chris Cornell that the band believes, at least, were intended for a final Soundgarden album. Vicky Cornell, in a lawsuit filed last year, alleged that because she wouldn't turn over those recordings to Soundgarden, they are withholding hundreds of thousands of dollars in unpaid royalties. The suit filed in November of last year says Vicky Cornell filed legal docs claiming the remaining members of Soundgarden are withholding hundreds of thousands of dollars in royalties owed to her and Chris's minor children. She calls the move an unlawful attempt to strong-arm Chris's estate into turning over certain audio recordings created by Chris before he passed away. For now, that's sort of been where the story ends up until a couple of days ago when Soundgarden has since countersued Vicky Cornell and accused her of making profit off of a charity performance that was Soundgarden's last performance as a group together. She has since released tax documentation seemingly proving that she donated $2 million of the proceeds to the charitable causes that she said she would support, and that there were only $43,000 approximately in overhead costs. Soundgarden said the following in their suit filed just a few days ago. The band alleged that they performed for a fee based on her promise the proceeds would go to a charity, but then they claim Vicky never explained where the money went. They say she's only mentioned $643,000 going to a medical research charity. The band wants a full accounting of where the revenues were donated. Vicky responded with a statement of her own, writing, "When you attack the foundation, you attack my husband's legacy. The foundation has nothing to do with who owns Chris's vocal recordings. Their knowingly false allegations are a deliberate attempt to harm not just my credibility, but the foundation my husband and I created and everything we stand for." Vicky's lawyer responded to TMZ saying, as Chris's former band members are well aware, every single penny of the proceeds generated by the concert were properly allocated and accounted for, and their statements are not only false and defamatory, but demonstrate the depths to which Chris's former bandmates are willing to sink to tarnish his legacy. And it appears the situation is escalating once more, with Vicky Cornell's attorney firing off a letter to the members of the band, and the letter is quite scathing to say the least. The letter refers to the allegations as mean-spirited drivel, and they were trying to browbeat her into giving up the rights to her late husband's copyrighted works by allegedly initiating a hate campaign, enlisting cyber stalkers and trolls to not only harass Vicky but also her children. It also says that the members have liked defamatory comments and social media allegations, like suggesting Vicky operates a brothel from her home and that she, quote, pimped out her daughter. Vicky's lawyer succinctly said, "Shame on you and shame on your clients who have made millions of dollars off of Chris Cornell's hard work and talent." The letter ends with a threat of a malicious prosecution lawsuit against not only the band members but their lawyer as well. That is, unless the band immediately drops its fraud claim against Vicky. And then get this, Vicky Cornell just a few hours ago actually posted another response to the members of the band, and then posted the balance sheet from that charity performance, essentially proving that she did donate millions of dollars from the show to charity. The band says, "That's great. We think you should then donate the remainder of the proceeds." Vicky wrote the following. She says, "You can keep battering me. You can keep trying to break me. It won't work. I'm committed to honoring Chris's legacy. All the more so after you have attempted to denigrate his life's work, his philanthropy, and his monumental tribute. You continued attempts to harm Chris's children is incredible. But so be it. Since you couldn't wait for tax returns before making false allegations, here are the Chris and Vicky Cornell Foundation financials. They speak for themselves." You can see that 3.3% of revenue went towards overhead, so they are obviously very much engaged in outreach. Only 3.3% of their total income. That's a pretty good foundation, to be quite honest with you. Needless to say, a rep for Soundgarden said Soundgarden's goal is still the completion of their final studio album, and they are pleased that after many requests, Vicky's attorneys last night offered an accounting of the profits from the Chris Cornell tribute concert. Soundgarden now asks that Vicky donate the remaining funds in her foundation to causes that are important to all of us. The main takeaway from this is how sad it is to see the members of Soundgarden and Vicky Cornell feuding, and especially over money and royalties and things like that. My hope is that they can come to the table in mediation and get along. One thing is for sure, I doubt that Chris Cornell would be happy with people feuding with one another, particularly over his music. I don't know what a resolution is for this, but my heart breaks for everybody going through this. I'm sure both sides take no pleasure in this sort of dispute. It's very sad to see. Anyways, that is all for now. Thanks so much for joining us today at Rockfeed. If you're new here, please subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on breaking news and updates. You can also join us with memberships to get a badge next to your name in the comments. You also get tons of behind the scenes content, and also you get to participate in a weekly Q&A. I've got to get some more members on board. I submitted for the Q&A this week and I only got one response, so I'm working on launching that soon as more of you join. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you all very soon.